Hello everyone, this is your favorite Uncle Bob action of video, and today we're finally going to be combining all these guys into the triple combination of the third three combinations. So, before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below what you thought of the video, or what else you'd like to see in a video. So onto the combinations themselves, we're going to be going from my least favorite to my most tolerated of the combined modes, because honestly, these vehicle teams are not the best. So we'll get into that as we go through each of the ones. So, and then per the show, whoever forms the head, they just add go at the end of their name, if I remember right. So in this case, it'd be Inferno Go, or his actual Japanese name Go. So, but since I gave him the name Inferno, Inferno Go is going to be the combination we're going into. So you're going to be taking Inferno and Prowl in this mode thing. And honestly, using this guy as the center sucks. Mainly because the head, at least on my copy, does not go down far enough, which means this does not come out far enough right here. And that means the clip is not very secure. Thankfully, you don't rely solely on it, or else this entire thing would be just, yeah. So, but anyways, you're going to be taking that gray clip, and it's going to be fitting right around that section right here, and these tabs right here will go into slots right in here. You can barely make them out, but you can see them right there. So I'm going to combine this up, so get that down, then get the front down, and then come back here, and this piece will clip right over these sections right here to further lock that into place. Next, you're going to be taking this gray section, and these ports right here are going to go over, get down, this section right here, and those right there. So get this all lined up. I recommend putting a finger back on the head of Jetfire. So getting this back up, plug all this on, come on, there we go, plug that on. And you do have to chicken leg him because he is incredibly back heavy. So one click, 1, 2, so 1 click, and 1, 2. Okay, so stay standing please while I readjust. There we go. And to further lock Inferno to Prowl, you're going to bring in the Kabuto for Inferno, and it's going to clip in via these ports right here into those sections on the shoulders. You can make them out. So get this plugged in, and this will clip in right down here and over the bumper. So get this clipped in, get that in, and thankfully that is a dead solid connection. And then flip these sections out, rotate the arms, and bring them down about like 4 clicks, because that's as far as you can get them down. And there you go. There you have Inferno Go in combined mode. And yeah, this thing, it just sucks, because you have this massive upper body and these tiny little legs on top of the fact. Prowl's legs right here keep his arms from going all the way down. So he constantly looks like he's wearing just a couple layers too many. So, and if you spin him around, of course, he is going to have a massive backpack. That is just part of the course for this line. So, yeah, definitely if you get these guys, pass on this specific combination. The other two are a lot better. So, but let's take a quick look at the face sculpt. And again, this isn't my favorite of the three. I mean, it looks good. It's goodly. Yeah, let's just roll with that. Goodly painted with the nice gold. Get the red for the face. I could have used maybe another coat with blue for the eyes. So, and at least his Kabuto is painted, which is nice. So, yeah, not too shabby in that department. Size comparison. Here we have a G2 Prowl. Or not Prowl, golly. Sideswipe. So you can see that it's a decent sized combiner. So there is that. And real quick, the Kabuto's extra do combine. They just got a tab focus, right here, going into a slot right in there. So get this plugged on, and there's nothing else holding it in place other than that, but it's a very solid connection. Now, unfortunately, he can't hold it because neither of those pegs are long enough, and he's got massive, just massive that. So, not happening. Unfortunately, you can't even undersling it. I thought you could, as per one of my replies to the commenter, so my bad. But yeah, you can't. I mean, granted, you could just plug it onto the arm itself and have that going on, which, doesn't look too bad. At least it forms a shield for the dude. So, but anything is going to make him unbalanced. Now, for the combined mode weapon, you're utilizing all of the weaponry. So what's going to happen typically is you're going to plug this into the hand, the first weapon. So plug in Inferno's weapon, then you're going to take Jetfire's giant katana, plug that in underneath, and then you're going to take Prowl's weapons, and they're going to plug onto slots or ports, whatever, these tabs on either side. And I swear I know what I am talking about when I'm talking about tabs and slots. So I'm gonna, where is it? Come on, there we go. And the combined mode weapon, not too shabby. Very dangerous at both ends, but hey, I just wish Prowl's weapons stayed on better. I think that's the story of these in general. But yeah, what you end up with isn't too bad looking. But we're going to just undo it for right now. And as far as articulation for this giant thing goes, to save time, none of them are going to have a head articulation. So, and 2 of the 3 are not going to have wrist articulation. But other than that, you do get the full-on forward movement for the arms. There's going to be nothing back just due to all the junk. So get this. You do get full outward. You get a elbow rotation with 90 degrees of elbow bends. None of them are going to have waist articulation because of how they combine. The legs, they do move forward like 2 clicks. They move back all the way. You get a rotation right here at this joint and at the below the knee section. And you do get double jointed knees, but since he is so top heavy, I don't recommend even trying to get him in a cool pose. If you can, fantastic. More power to you. I'm not even going to try, but you do get all the way back, and you get almost the full 180 bend, and you do get like 1 click forward, if that helps any. Now, there is a foot movement. You can move them up and down, or well, not really down, but you get full up, but I don't recommend it because once you undoop it, it's loose and it will not support any of the weight. There is a toe tilt, and the heel can move down to maybe support A poses. So, yeah. But, as far as this one goes, complete pass. Do not combine them like this. It is just not worth the headache of trying to balance him. Granted, right now he is perfectly fine. So, yeah. Now, I'm going to decombine him, put these guys into my next favorite, worst, however you want to look at it, and I will be right back. So just give me one moment. All right, and just like that, we have everyone in their respective combined modes. So we're going to start off with Jetfire once more. And what's going to happen here is you got these giant tabs going into those giant ports. So get that lined up and give it a nice squeeze. Come on. All right, come on. There we go. So that way we have that into place. You might have to take his legs and rotate them up a little bit more, but we'll worry about that later. So next you're going to take this section right here and plug it right over here. So get this all lined up. And come on. That is a very tight one. Golly. They definitely want to make sure that you're not gonna get this. There we go. Let me make sure that was very secure. So getting him standing. There we go. Raising up. Then you can just rotate the arm and bring it down next to the body, because unlike, with him as the upper body, or well, with him as the mid body, you can actually do that with this guy. So there is that. Please stay standing. Next, we're going to take his Kabuto and completely unfold it. And what's going to happen here is you got slot and slot going into a tab and tab. So get this all lined up and it will tab into place. You actually want to feed it through the nose cone first and then get this into place. Then it's going to tab into the same slots as Inferno's did. So get that tabbed in and there you go. There you have Go Jetfire in combined mode. And, proportionally wise, it's better. But the fists are very comically tiny. So, but you do end up with a very big backpack, bigger than with Prowl as the mid-torso. So, but definitely a lot more stable, especially if you have the fingers flipped out. It adds a lot of stability to the guy. So, take a quick look at the face sculpt now, and again, it's not horrible, but it's still not my favorite of the three. So, looks like he has a giant mustache kind of growing back to his ears. But it is nicely painted, I will give it that. Even right here is nicely painted, so yeah, not too shabby. Articulation-wise, we went over the heads, not going to move whatsoever. The arms, again, you're not going to get too much in the way of backward movement because of all the stuff in the back. But you do get full forward just about. This time it's because the wings just don't want to do it. You get all the way out and up, which is nice. You get a rotation, 90 degrees of elbow bend, nothing at the wrist other than maybe some up and down. So get that back out. Obviously nothing at the waist. Hips do not move forward unless you rotate this joint and then rotate at the leg. Then you'll get, all the way forward, which just looks kind of odd. Get back, again, a little bit odd. Well, it looks a little bit more normal. You do get full splits, so that is nice. You get a rotation, and the feet, they have ankle tilt outwards and a little bit of rotation, but it's more inward and all that, so not too bad. Now, this one can actually hold the combined Kabuto, and for that, you got this focus, got tab and tab going into slot and slot. So get this all lined up and tabbed in. There we go, and you'll just plug it into the hand. So something like this. Good enough. So now he has a ranged weapon. And the combined mode weapon is at least the melee one is the exact same. You'll just, put it in the hand and all of that fun stuff. So, yeah, as far as this one goes, whilst it is a lot more stable in a sense of like the connections, he's still off in everything. So, not the best, but kind of not the worst either. So take it or leave it combination, in my opinion. Oh, and one thing I did forget to mention in Go Inferno is you push the button to get some lights and sounds as well for the combination. But since I don't have batteries and since the rule on the channel is I record late at night, no loud noises. So sorry, folks. But yeah, not too shabby. So once again, I'm going to decombine them, put them in their other forms, and I'll be right back. Alright, one more time. Here we have everyone in their combined modes now. So we're going to take Jetfire and Prowl and connect them on top. So get this in place. Make sure you have a finger under Jetfire's head so that way you have some sort of leverage. So there we go. And get these nice and plugged in. Bring down the nose cone just ever so slightly. So next, you're going to take Inferno and plug him into those sections right there. So get these all lined up. That's plugged in. And then you're going to take the nose cone, and it's going to plug in right in there. So there we go. Next, take the wings, and they're going to plug into those slots right in there. So there we go. Get that plugged in, and get that plugged in. Make sure that his backpack stays in together, because these do plug in. So I'm going to raise up the camera, and also go ahead and just bring down the arms. So get that down, and get that down. Make sure his ponytail is down. So now this step really isn't necessary, because again, he is already dead solid connection, but just to add an extra layer of security. So finally, we're going to take the Kabuto, flare it all out, and we're going to drop it in. Now, if there is a connection point other than on the chest, I have not found it, but just drop this in, plug it into the chest, and there we go. There we have the best combination in general for the vehicle team, Prowl Go, or Go Prowl, whatever. And I say this is the best because it's stable, it does not want to fall over, and the weight is distributed the best in this one. So, and it also helps that, Inferno makes the best pair of legs, if you ask me, which is nice. So, get some nice, big, beefy feet and everything. For some reason, his legs look a little bit off, but maybe that's just the angle I have him at. So, let's take a quick look at the face sculpt. And yeah, not the worst. I do think Jetfire's is just a little bit better than this one, but honestly, none of these really wow me. But if I had to guess, this is the best. So, but not too shabby. Now, articulation-wise, the arms can actually move back in this form, but they don't really move forward just due to how this is. Granted, you can get the shoulder pad out of the way to get all the way forward. Granted, you can... Oh, not that elbow. Stop it. You can use this joint for the forward movement. And as the figure is wanting to show off, he does have an elbow bend for just over 90 degrees. You do get a rotation at the elbow as well. And this is the only form where you have wrist articulation and finger movement, which is nice. Granted, it's only in and out and everything, but at least it's something. So again, nothing at the waist. Legs, they move forward all the way, back about that far. You get only one click out, just due to how it works and everything. And you can't untab it, because if you do untab this, it's going to untab that, and it's just a mess. So yeah. Now there is a at the knee rotation, or the lower knee. You do get a knee joint right there, and a knee joint right here for the full 180 bend. So get that out. And there is nothing at the feet other than the upward movement, and the heels can come down to support any posing. So now, granted, mine also has this weird thing where the ratchet is ever so slightly off, so just a bit odd. Now, bringing in the other Kabuto weapons, what's going to happen here is you got focus. Hey, focus, come on. You got these tabs right here going into those slots right in there, and you're going to want to make sure that they are the opposite of each other. So get this and that plugged together. So there we go. And then he can hold it utilizing this peg. So getting that into the hand. And it's, not the best. The ratchet on the shoulder does not like holding it up. So there is that. Now, if you still wanted to, he can hold the combined mode weapons, these ones. But again, not the most delicate or the most stable thing. So you just plug this in. And then this one will actually utilize this peg. There's a hole in the bottom of Inferno's weapon. So get that all plugged in, wrap the hand around it. And there you go. There you have the completed combined mode. And I forgot to do a size comparison, but they're all about the same size. So there's that. So overall, should you go in on this set? For the vehicle team, if you plan on just doing this combination, or if you have let's just focus on this one. If you do just this combination, it's great, fantastic. Weight is distributed perfectly, all that fun stuff. If you do any of the other ones, get a flight stand, get something to prop him up, because he will not stand very well. It also doesn't help that for Prowl, the battery box and all that is on the back and not like in the center. So that doesn't help matters. Even though I don't have batteries in mine, it still does not help. Along with him being the biggest and beefiest, more weight obviously on him, so he would want to topple back and all that. So, and we got bird legs. So there's that. So I do think this is the best overall. Does it look the best? That's subjective. Proportion-wise, yeah. So, but if you do want to get one of these guys, get the animal team. It is the best, in my opinion. So, at least for combiners, if you want individuals, these are the more interesting ones. So it's honestly a mixed bag with these guys, is what I'm trying to say. So, yeah. But I think that is about it. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more video reviews.